Now, page 4, the attempt to Shanghai the Constitution through mob rule. The Silver State is the latest jurisdiction to throw some tarnish on our founding document. Nevada is joining 14 other states and the District of Columbia in proffering phony legislation ostensibly designed to eliminate the Electoral College. This is part of the so-called National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. These radical and/or ignorant leaders in these states are so incensed with a Donald Trump victory and a Hillary Clinton loss in 2016 that they want to unilaterally and unconstitutionally rewrite our founding document. They are pushing for electing a president based on the national popular vote, which, of course, Hillary Clinton won. Donald Trump won the Electoral College by a wide margin, by the way, and that fact is driving these fools nuts. They're going so crazy, in fact, that they've embarked on this partisan, anti-constitutional shakedown cruise to pure direct democracy. They're sailing on a ship of fools that would necessarily sink this republic. Now, the Electoral College is political genius. In short, it allows all states, large and small, to play a role in electing presidents. If we were to go away from this system, then candidates for president would need only campaign in California and New York, Illinois, Texas, and Florida. That's it. But the other reason the framers gave us the Electoral College is because they rejected direct democracy. They embraced federalism and states' rights. In other words, the framers did not want us to be governed by mob rule. But that's where these 15 states and D.C. are taking us. They're attempting to hijack the United States Constitution using mob rule in order to impose mob rule. And of course, they're doing this to benefit their guy in 2020, which could end up being one of the greatest living examples of what is wrong with Washington, D.C., Joe Biden.
I know how to go toe-to-toe with the GOP, but it doesn't have to be, and it can't be that way on every single issue. Look at the Recovery Act.
Stop tape. Let's look at the Recovery Act. Remember that boondoggle? And that's what it was. A giant, nearly $1 trillion taxpayer-funded boondoggle put out by Barack Obama and the Democrat majority. By the way, if you want another boondoggle like this, then go ahead and allow Donald Trump to be defeated in 2020 and allow the Senate to be taken over by the Democrats. You'll get your share of boondoggles like the so-called Recovery Act. Nearly $1 trillion of our money went to waste. Remember Barack Obama? And he came out along with this guy and said, hey, there's shovel-ready jobs. Where were those shovel-ready jobs? It was nonsense. It was always political theater. The so-called Recovery Act, the $1 trillion boondoggle, was nothing more than a payback to the unions and the people who supported Barack Obama for president in 2008. That's all it was. They rammed it down our throats. It was a payback, a political payback, and we paid for it, financially and philosophically. Roll tape.
Recovery Act, the cornerstone of the nation's economic recovery from the depths of the greatest financial...
Stop tape. The recovery that we made from this recession, and I still don't believe that it was the greatest recession since the Depression. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe what these people did, that would be Joe Biden and Barack Obama, lived out the old Democrat axiom and the old hammer and sickle axiom, and that is never let a good crisis go to waste. So they pounced on this crisis. The reason why we recovered from the thralls of this, we'll call it a recession, is because of the resiliency of the American people and the resiliency of the free markets, what remains of the free markets, and the resiliency of the stock market and the resiliency of the housing market. The reason we went into this recession was because of people like Joe Biden and policies from people like Joe Biden. The federal government created the recession of 2008 and 2009 by forcing banks to lend money to people who should never be lent money. That is the reason why we went into this tailspin. Of course, it was bundled and resold on a secondary market and on Wall Street, but that just exacerbated the initial problem. The initial problem was Washington, D.C., and people and policies from Joe Biden types who created the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.